Put a ring on it, season 3, episode 3. Last episode, I was all over these men. I was calling them, Otis was controlling, Kenny was conniving, and Rick Ross, I forgot what I called him. Oh, he's just cheating and leading out information and secretive. I think that's what I called him. But you know what? They always say there's two sides to every story. And I started getting a glimpse into the other side of the story this week. I started seeing some things in the ladies that kind of show also how some of their behavior is contributing to these problems. So first of all, I'm going to start with Shorty and Kenny. Now, Kenny definitely is crazy because that little story she started telling again, how she has tried to leave Kenny. And one time she tried to break up with Kenny, and Kenny showed up at her job and then followed her from her job to her new place just so he could figure out where she was living. Like I said, that's some stalkerish stuff. That's some fatal attraction stuff. That stuff is scary. Like I said before, he scares me, and he still does scare me. But what I saw this week was, a part of Shorty. She likes that a little bit. I can see that she does like to manipulate Kenny. Like I said, Kenny ain't got it all up here. And Shorty thinks she's smarter than Kenny. And she tries to use her intelligence and her wits to manipulate Kenny. I started to see it. You know, when Kenny started talking about how he couldn't even concentrate on that date, and he was saying that, you know, he couldn't think straight because before the date, he and Shorty had a little blow up, a little fight. And even Dr. Nicole hinted to the fact that, you know, that might be considered some little subtle sabotage. You want to have a big fight right before he goes on his date. You know, I saw that too, Dr. Nicole, but at first I didn't want to say nothing about it. But I did recognize that. But also what I recognized was then after he was telling about his date, Dr. Nicole said, hey, you know what, do you want to go out on another date? And before he could answer, here goes Shorty taking her hand and putting it right on Kenny's knee, right when he's about to answer the question. Now, we all know what subtle touching means. You know what I'm saying? So right there, she was trying to make Kenny give the answer she wanted. That was that simple touch. That's the same sort of stuff when men are trying to control women, that before the woman opens up her mouth, the man will grab her hand, put his arm around the woman, basically to say, you know what, I'm sitting right here. I'm right here. You better watch what you say. And that's what I noticed about Shorty. I said, uh-oh, what do we have here? A little bit of manipulation? But then this new date that showed up for Kenny happens to be a girl that Shorty knew. I'm starting to believe that Shorty and Kenny, they got a fake storyline. So first you want to tell me that the date that gets lined up for Shorty is Hollywood, somebody we already know, somebody she already knows, right? And then now we're trying to figure out that the next date that Kenny's about to have is somebody that Shorty knows. This sounds like a Shorty is manipulating this whole season. But she might have thought that this girl coming on the show, Marissa, was going to be her friend, but she may turn out to be a foe. I don't know. I don't know if she set this up herself and then Marissa's going to flip the script on her, or Marissa's acting to go along with this Shorty plan. I don't know. Maybe I'm coming up with some conspiracy theory, but I got my antennas up, y'all. I'm going to keep an eye on it because I can tell you right now, there ain't nothing going on between Hollywood and Shorty. Like I said before, Hollywood is not attracted to Shorty in that way. He up here giving her advice on the date like he's a pastor and she's a parishioner. There ain't no romantic stuff going on. And she can keep telling him all she wants, how good looking he is, how his muscles look, how she loves looking at him. She can't look away. She can do that all she wants. Hollywood is not interested in you and Shorty, not one bit. Maybe she like a challenge. Maybe she know he don't really like her and she likes the challenge. Maybe Kenny rolls over too much for her. You know, she can easily manipulate him. Maybe she's looking at Hollywood and he seems like a challenge. You know, Hollywood over here talking about your dog seem like he ain't trained, talking about Kenny saying, you know, when all men are dogs, when they do wrong and they pee on the floor, you're supposed to put their nose in it and spank them, and then they learn not to do it no more. But if they keep doing it, they keep peeing in the house, you got to let them go. Hollywood should know. He should know a lot about dogs because I think he's peed in the house a whole lot of time. But he gave her some good advice. He said, you don't need to stick in no relationship. You're not stuck in no relationship. You can get out of it. You can do better. But I'm not so sure that Shorty ain't where she wants to be. To be honest with you, I think Shorty thinks she's manipulating this whole situation. I don't think she really want to leave Kenny. I think she want to stay manipulating Kenny and change Kenny. She don't want to accept Kenny for who he is. She want to change Kenny. And I think that's her biggest problem. And then when it comes to Otis and Charlana, same thing. You know, last episode I was calling Otis controlling. And I'm going to say he's still controlling. But I figured out something right here in this episode. And Charlana, let me tell you, she's immature and she is childlike. Because when she sat at that bar talking about I'm hungry, like a little 2-year-old kid waiting for a mother to make him a sandwich, I said, what are you talking about, you hungry? That ain't the hungry like I tell my husband, like, I'm hungry, or what you want to get to eat, what you want to eat for dinner tonight, as if we was going to be involved in the process together. No, Charlana sat at that counter talking about I'm hungry, like she was waiting on that chef husband of hers to make her some food, like he probably always does. And like she a 14-year-old kid. Charlana started to make me feel like she's one, you know what, when your kids get 14, 15 years old and they think they grown, you know, they think they're grown enough to make their own decisions. They want to do what they want when they want, but then they want to reap all the benefits of still being a kid. I think that's who Charlana is, and I think that's what's going on with Otis. He's definitely controlling, but some of the stuff I'm starting to see in Charlana for myself too. I think what Charlana says she doesn't like when she feels scolded by Otis, I think he does scold her. I think he scolds her like she's a little kid. And I think what happens is, I think sometimes Charlana does display some childlike behavior. And I think that, and I think what Otis is, he doesn't like it, and he starts determining how he thinks she should act. And when she don't act the way he wants her to act, he scolds her. And I think that's all wrong, because I think he does treat her like a kid, because I think he looks at her like a child. I really do. He wasn't agreeing with Dr. Nicole at all. And I think some of the advice Dr. Nicole was giving was true. But I also think that in Dr. Nicole's assessment, she hasn't given any credence to the fact that Charlana might be immature in some ways, because where she's starting with how Otis makes Charlana feel when scolded. And I think she definitely needs to address that, because his ways are controlling, and they are very disrespectful. But the problem Otis got is you can't make no grown person accountable. Even if you think what they're doing is childlike or wrong, you then can't take on the position that you're going to be the one to scold them. And that's what he's doing to Charlana. He's taking on the position that he's in charge of Charlana, and you can't be in charge of no grown person. There is some weird dynamic going on in the two of them. I think in some way Charlana has some level of dependency on Otis. I'm not for sure how high the dependency is. But like I said, I think she has a dependency on him. Maybe it's financial. And so now she's in this situation where she wants to be an adult and make her own decisions and do what she wants to do. But yet she doesn't have but she also has this other part of her life where she has this level of dependency on him to do simple things like cook for her. And who knows, it might involve other things as well that's real childlike. And so she's not getting the respect she thinks she should get. So I don't know. I'm going to have to keep an eye on these two as well. But I just want to say that in this episode, I did start seeing some things in Charlana that also maybe I can see where that dynamic between the two of them is becoming a bit toxic. Because one of the things with Charlana, she does roll her eyes a lot. She looks away. She does a lot of little nonverbal communication that reminds you of a 16-year-old when you're trying to talk to them at the counter. And every time you say something to them, they roll their eyes. And you be like, you know what? You better get them eyes together. That's what Charlana reminds me of. I'm telling you, she reminds me of a 16-year-old who wants all the rights and privileges of an adult, but she wants all the benefits of being a 16-year-old. That's what I'm starting to see. Shea and Alfonso. Now we find out that Alfonso really does work for Rick Ross. Shoot, I was just making fun of him. He emulating his boss, I guess. Shoot, I just thought it was like his little costume he likes to wear, his little style of dressing. Well, come to find out, he really does work with Rick Ross. So shoot, that's explained. And it also explains a little bit more about, what's going on with them and how Shea is acting. Shea, you the one married to a man in this line of business. You don't have to get used to girls falling into the DMs, making crazy posts to try to make you look jealous. That's what these Instagram people and everybody out here does. I don't know what she's expecting. She better get a hold of herself. That's one of the downsides of dating men who work in that music industry, the entertainment industry, and all that. You're going to have to learn how to deal with that. So she better come up with some techniques. But I'm also seeing the side of Alfonso where, he likes the attention. He likes for everybody to like him. He strikes me as the type of person where he don't want to never tell a girl no, because he doesn't want anybody not to like him. So he's willing and ready to pose for pictures. He's not willing to turn down no women. He's not willing to do anything to put up any type of boundary around any woman or anyone else to respect his relationship because he wants all the attention. He loves attention. You can tell right now, anybody that wears gold chains that big, they chest all out, flashy, they like attention. And let me tell you, Shea, I don't know what she's going to do with him because when someone's addicted to attention like that, it doesn't matter what you do. They're going to find the attention. It's like you working with an alcoholic and say, you know what? I'm going to take all the liquor out the house so the liquor doesn't tempt you. We know what? The alcoholic going to find some liquor. No matter where they can go down the street, they'll find some liquor. They'll go to a friend's house and find some liquor. When you got a person who's an attention whore, like Alfonso is, Shea, you could keep every woman away that you could think you could, and he gonna end up finding some women to give him some attention. So what you hoping for, I don't think it's gonna be able to achieve. Now maybe he could get a little better, maybe he could put some boundaries around him, but Shea in that jealous streak, she might be with the wrong man. Because right now, Alfonso has made the decision. He either could give up all the attention and then not have to listen to Shea's mouth, which you know he loved that attention, or he can give up the attention and keep Shea happy. And let me tell you right now, the attention is more important than Shea not being upset. He said, I'll deal with her little nastiness. I'll deal with her being mad, and I'll keep this attention at the same time. He's trying to walk that line to be able to keep what he wants over here and keep what he wants over here. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too. So I also did videos on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Also, I did video on Ready to Love. So here are the links right here above my head. Go ahead and watch those videos if you haven't watched them. Talk to you later. Bye.